saw something he was. Hey, is he goofy? Yeah. Goofy's on Max. He asked Goofy where Max was. He had a good time. Look at him. You didn't see that? That been deep sea fishing, It was.
You know, I think they wanted people like me to get back on over there.
Yeah. Oh,
It was why you did have a look. Ended up going to the banana.
big roads out there. Just out there. I couldn't see it. It may have been 20 miles off. I couldn't see the yellow. Crazy.
Good evening, McDonald County, and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame inaugural induction banquet, starting with the 2024 class. I'll go ahead and list those real quick while we're getting ready to get started here. Contributor Rick Peck, the 1981 women's basketball team and the 1983 women's basketball team. Coaches Jack Shaver, Jerry Davis, and athletes Sue Thomas Buttram, LaDonna Wilson McLean, Suzanne Neander Sutton, and Bruce Stansel. I'll just give a little bit of insight about some of those here before we get going, and then I'll pretty much shut my mic off and let you guys enjoy the ceremony. Rick Peck, for several years, has covered the McDonald County Mustangs for the McDonald County Press. He also helps us out with the stats for the Friday night games. The 1981 women's basketball team is part of the early part of the 1980s was a glorious time for the McDonald County Mustangs. After a 20-2 season in 1979 and a state runner-up finish in 1980, the 1981 edition of the McDonald County Mustangs ladies basketball team, led by head coach Jerry Davis and assistant coach Elaine Shoemake, enjoyed a banner year. Fueled by the state runner-up finish in 1980 and 1981, Lady Mustangs were loaded with senior talent and leadership, as well as a valuable experience at the state level. They went on 5 all-conference players, 3 all-district players, 1 all-state player, and a coach of the year for the state of Missouri in Jerry Davis. The 1983 women's basketball team, after disappointing finish to the 1982 season for the defending state champions, the Mustangs in 1983, led by Jerry Davis and Elaine Shoemake, were once again fueled by the shortcomings, loaded and with a talented group of seniors who are no strangers to Columbia. The 1983 edition of the McDonald County Lady Mustangs basketball were considered by many to be the best team in the state in all classes, finishing with a 31-1 record. Looks like they're getting ready to start, so I will go ahead and stop and turn my mic off and turn their mic on and let you enjoy the season or the evening.
The tradition and the history that we have, and I'm glad that we get to bring it to light tonight. In March of 2023, the Board of Education approved the adoption of bylaws and the official establishment of the McDonald County Athletic Hall of Fame. This establishment is a monumental step in recognizing and celebrating the rich history of our athletic program. An athletic program that has given so many opportunities to so many people in this room, including myself. And, I hope it's an athletic program that the people in this room in our community are still proud of and will continue to be proud of, and that's my goal and my role. I'm honored to be here tonight. I'm honored to put this on for you guys. It's an honor for me to be able to serve our student athletes right now at McDonald County. And it's an honor that I don't take lightly. And that's because of the sacrifices and investment of so many people in this room. And so many people that have gone before us and people in the community. I want our community to know what an honor it is for me to serve in my role. And one of those people is someone who's been a huge help to me personally, and someone who's had an impact on so many in McDonald County. And it's my honor to introduce the chairman of the McDonald County Athletic Hall of Fame, Mr. Inaugural.
Can everyone hear all right? Sure. This would not have happened without the driving force of one man. He thought of this, he came to me, he talked to me a little about it, and I said, Lee Smith and I talked about this years ago, but I just didn't do it. I wanted to say that. But Bo took it upon himself to get this going, to get this started, to create this. He spent many countless hours putting this together, and we all need to get Bo. In everyone's lives, I was lucky. I was here when Jack Shepard's team was 75 was playing this place was packed. And I was lucky to be a senior when Madonna and Suzanne showed up, along with Becky Clark and Lake Connie Sutton and Teresa Oler, and graduated this up to the 80. I was lucky enough to still be in the county with Lee Smith and his group in 81 along with the girls. High school athletics teaches you lots of things, and very few of it's about winning and losing. We like to celebrate and win, but you also learn there'll be some losing along. It teaches you how to pick yourself up after defeat. I think the best sports quote I ever heard was a winner was someone who just got up one more time and they got knocked on the butt. And I firmly believe that. Our first inductee contributor is Mr. Rick Peck. And Ken, can you play that?
The first ever McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame. Today, we honor Rick Peck, a former photographer and editor for the McDonald County Press, who has captured the spirit of Mustang athletics for over 20 years. As listed on the sidelines, Rick covered 24 conference championships, 21 district championships, and countless unforgettable moments in Mustang history. Through his lens and storytelling, Rick brought the excitement of Mustang sports to life, giving the community front row seat to every victory, loss, and highlight. His exceptional work in the Kansas City Society of Professional Journalists, Community Service Award, a National Newspaper Association Federal Award, and recognition from the Missouri Press Association. Rick's dedication and time have made him an irreplaceable part of Mustang athletics. Congratulations, Rick Peck, for being part of the first ever McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame.
I got that video has seen all the things that Rick Peck has seen. Rick Peck was there that cold, snowy night in Miami, Oklahoma, when Jack Shaker 75 Mustangs made made the greatest comeback in school history as they came back and won the NEO championship. And Rick, you should know better. I'm not going to talk about it. Okay. Rick was there with Willie Smith won a state championship in the triple jump. Rick was there when Oscar Ortiz became our first wrestler to ever win a state championship. But more importantly than that, Rick Beck was there when Bucky Hill on a nasty spring day, no dead, got hurt in the triple jump. The only day they ever won in high school. He's been there for countless kids doing countless things. You know, I think I caught a room full of really, really great athletes. But not all of us are great athletes. But Rick Peck made sure that when you scored 32 or 2, your name got the thing. He made sure you want to state championship players in the paper. If you got 6 at a meeting, at each student and a relay team, your name got the thing. That's important. It's important to all kids. Because all those kids shy of some things. And guys, it's a thankless job. Do you realize that this fall we have 7 varsity teams participating in athletics at McDonald County High School? Rick would get to everything he could. He talked to coaches. He write up everything. Countless hours he spent for your kids and for my kids. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no more deserving award winner tonight than Mr. Rick Peck.
My public presentations is more by the written than the spoken word, so kind of forgive me for my speech here tonight, but thanks to Bo for getting the whole thing started, countless hours I know, the committee. Kim for the introduction, I wasn't on the order of Kim's introduction. I saw him on the football game last night, he was talking about some former players, and he said, junior, he said junior union on the radio, so I was a little worried, but I'm surprised that Rick came out of his mouth. So before I started looking for the paper as a fan, I remember going to the first football game at Anderson Armory before it was a voluntary football field. And so from there until last night, there's no telling how many games, meets, matches, events that I've attended. The first 20, 25 years as a fan, and the last 25 years was as a newspaper guy. Even when I wasn't playing in high school, I served as a stat guy for Coach Jack Shaker. And his 75 team, that went 25-0 before losing, as juniors the year before was pretty good. And I was keeping stats, and so I was here. Charles Harvey, one of the inductees, came in, and Coach Shaker had said, Charlie, I told you by Tuesday, you never had your haircut, by Friday you weren't playing. Well, Charlie never had his haircut. So my biggest contribution that year was giving Charlie a haircut with the tape scissors in the library before the game. And if you see Charlie's picture in the program, if he's here tonight, he probably would have needed a haircut with tape scissors tonight, too. So. And then we're going to the triplets and little days of the basketball. When I got here, before the season started, when the girls was freshmen, I think I was working on it as a booster club, doing something, and I think it was right over there, I remember this today, and Jerry Davis and I bumped in. I asked him, how's it going? He said, pretty good. I said, we knew these 3 girls from Southwest City was their junior high careers. And so I said, how's the team? And he said, well, I'm going to start 3 freshmen. I said, well, they've been pretty good a couple of years. So we think they're going to be pretty good this year. Well, they finished second in state, so they were pretty good that year. That's why he was Jerry and I was a newspaper guy. But, you know, I thought in a couple of years, they were still pretty good, so I had that right. Some of those runners are crazy. Sue's 2-3 throws at state, everybody knows. I remember one of the exceptions, we were getting beat at halftime. They're pretty good. There was this one girl that was just killing us. And so Coach Davis put our defensive specialist, Obama wasn't a play on her, and our defensive specialist scored 1,600 and some career points, so that's kind of she couldn't be an offensive specialist, but that girl came to all the levels. She's in the Missouri State University Hall of Fame, and we're on the show and going with the state, and they happened, so that's pretty good. Suzanne, we do Suzanne days every night. Just unbelievable. Her basketball skills were matched by her jumping ability track, winning state high jump. I looked it up. Her winning high jump in 1983 would have won the last 5 years it was in Missouri. That's all for 40 years, so that's quite a deal. When the boys team went, there's always a comparison with if the 81 team maybe in the 75, I don't know, but the 81 was the most improved team. I remember getting beat by Seneca, but the first of the year, the Seneca was bad, so at least Mississippi Coach Davis said, it's my fault, because I thought you guys were better than this, and so they were better than that. They couldn't get up to the state. On that state boys team, there was a sophomore. He wasn't much of a basketball player, but he tried and played hard. His game was football. But the fans that sat in the first 2 or 3 rows of the bleacher knew that he hustled because they usually end up having to duck before the game was over because he became flying around in the stands. But between the girls and boys, you knew they was, when you watched them back then, you knew that they was Hall of Fame caliber athletes. Bruce, I remember jumping cars in the parking lot was a qualification that would get you in, but congratulations. And then I was on the state games and some of the girls. Unbelievable years. And that was just as a fan. That's what we were in the newspaper. Kim Swartz called a speech, watching her in state track in the style that she led the whole way to the next and last jump. Going back to second, and all went in and she from the last jump won. So Oscar won his North County's first state basketball championship. Next year I saw him get robbed of the second state basketball championship by a call. But baseball, so I want to get baseball, all the district champions. We just couldn't get over the hump to get another team to stay. Same on the softball. We had a lot of great players, so just couldn't win that one. Baseball team, they just got to stick with it. After we won districts for the first time in quite a while, our starting pitcher got hit in the eye and put in more ups and was in the hospital part of the mouth, getting soda before the game. Another game, our starting pitcher got hit a little bit, got sick, and then when our coach, won't mention any names, found out why he got sick, he put him back in the game to punish me for getting sick. So, but I just want to thank you all for coming. I appreciate it very much. And congratulations to the inductees, the real athletes. And like I told Bob in the first call, he told me he was in some of these names, and I kind of felt like it was a test question for me, which one of these names don't belong. But I We congratulate you all, and thank you very much.
Next will be our teams, and the first team we will induct is the 1981 Women's State Championship basketball team.
This happened in pioneers of the Button County Athletics, the first ever Button County Athletics Hall of Fame. Today we honor the 1981 Women's Mustang basketball team, led by head coach Jerry Davis and assistant coach Ellen Schumann. The 1981 team was packed with senior talent, leadership, and the experience to go all the way. They dominated the season, winning conference and district championships, 3 tournament titles, and winning honors like 5 all-conference players, 3 all-district players, and 1 all-state player. After overcoming different challenges, the Lady Mustangs made it to Columbia and clinched their place in district, being charged with 47 to 34 of the finals to become the state champions. It was the first ever state championship for McDonald County High School. The legacy continued, with the 1981 team being inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame in 2022, honoring this early era of Lady Mustangs basketball. Congratulations to the 1981 Lady Mustangs basketball team on being part of the first ever class of the McDonald County Athletic Hall of Fame.
You know, I said earlier, and I admit there's a lot of great athletic talent in front of me, but by God, more than that, there's a lot of hard workers. These girls, they have talent. Everybody has talent. And Jerry Sager, and Coach Davis, Jerry Davis, would get every inch out of you that you thought you could give, and give them more. Ladies, did you remember those first hour practices? Yeah. I always wondered this because, Coach Davis wasn't exactly like, hey, 15 minutes, go take a shower, get puffed up, look pretty. It was more like, hey, we got in class and you're going to be running. How many of you ever got done with late practice, just got your stuff on, rushed to class, and the one boy that you really liked in that class, that was the only day the seat was open next to him. And then you're sitting there, and Ladonna and I talked a little bit about all of this, and Ladonna said she wished she could have just one good hair day in 4 years. And she with me one time, I said, there's a senior, and Teresa Oil comes in, and you can tell it's been a bad practice, and she's all hot and sweaty, and I comment, hey, don't you guys ever get to take a shower? I still can't lift this arm up all the way from the skin. But, and I didn't realize, they didn't squat, until I started doing some research. My gosh, what a tough road to the championship. And you have to call 81 kind of the revenge team, because in 80, we went all the way and we got close, we got second. Okay? But the girls started out playing Willard, and Coach Davis, I don't know if you remember, but Willard stalled, remember? And we were at 14-12 going into halftime, and I'm sure Coach Davis and the girls made some adjustments, and we came out. And we did pretty good. Well, in the next round, I hadn't realized this, but we weren't even the top ranked team in the state. We played I think I'll say this right, Fatima, is that right, Madonna? Fatima, they were the number 1 ranked team. That went into overtime. Okay? And Fatima had a star named Rick Bakers. And we had her to 1 field goal. I don't know, Coach Davis, do we run a boxing 1 or triangle 2, or you just put the dog on it? How do we do it? Something like that. Yeah. But So I bet she did get tired. Okay? And I'm pretty sure Rick Cunningham is in the best shape. Then that brought us all the way to the semifinal. Okay? And in the semifinal, we got to face Macon. Macon was undefeated. So the last two games, we beat the number one team, the state were playing an undefeated team. And of course, that's the game where Sue Thomas made the 2 free throws after time was out. Not the 2 most famous free throws, sorry, I don't even get that one time to anybody. The 2 most famous free throws in the history of Mustang basketball. And we got through that, and we went to the state finals versus Charleston, and I finally had an easy game, I guess. It was 47-34 in the state championship. Suzanne had 16, Sue had 12, Teresa Butts had 4, LaDonna had 6, Lori Strickland had 2, and Adrian Wright had 7. In the McDonald County area, State Park won the first state championship in the history of McDonald County High School. So I called your name, if you will, if you're here, and I apologize if I slaughter some of these names. Please come up here on the podium so we can recognize you. We would like, after this is over, to get pictures out in front of the marquee that we'll reveal. And I apologize, husbands, but I have the maiden names, that's what I'm going to use. So, unfortunately, tonight you're Mr. Wilson, John, you're Mr. Thomas. So if you're here, please come up here. Teresa Butts. I know Teresa is here. Marjorie Elton. LaDonna Wilson. Lori Strickland. Adrian Wright. Cheryl Tompkins. Sue Thomas. Susan Rogers. Suzanne Diane. Amy Jackson. Carrie Brazil. Joyce Martin. Does anyone have that? Besides, Coach Jerry, would you please come up? And Doug Sheehan, would you please come up? That's right. Elaine was an integral part of this. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1981 state championship, McDonald County Lady Mustangs. Our second team of the is the 1983 Lady Mustang State Championship. Mr. Sutton, please.
We're celebrating the pioneers of McDonald County Athletics with the first ever McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame. Today, we're honoring the 1983 Lady Mustangs basketball team. After a tough win to the 1982 season, the 1983 Lady Mustangs came back with a vengeance. Led by coaches Jerry Davis and William Shealy, this team was packed with talent, determination, and a group of seniors who were strangers to the bright lights of glory. I'm returning back to glory. The Lady Mustangs played in the conference final, a district championship, and 3 tournament wins. The final four was easy, but the Lady Mustangs brought home another state championship with a hard-fought 52-38 victory over Visitation Academy. In December 2022, the 1983 team, along with the entire 1980-83 era of Lady Mustang basketball, was inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame, a testament to their legacy and impact on McDonald County. Congratulations to the 1983 Lady Mustangs basketball team on being part of the first ever McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame.
I need to address a mistake that I made, and I apologize profusely. Roy Dawkins was on that 81 team, and I forgot to call his name. Roy, I'm sorry. And I apologize, and I have to written down and turn that in. Now, the 83 team will probably be called prediction team because I've had several young women ask me, don't mention what happened the year before, because Coach, I think actually are afraid to get mad and start moving tables out of the way if they were 11, 9, 7, 5. But they came back with a vengeance. In 1983, to start out the state tournament, the Lady Mustangs beat Willard 55-33. In the quarterfinals, McDonald County won 68-45, which brought us into the semifinals. The semifinals, McDonald County won 70-50 over St. Mary's. So you can kind of see, especially with these seniors that we had in my team that year, this was redemption. This person. And in the state championship, even though we're freshmen when they were freshmen, McDonald County beat Visitation 52-48. Suzanne scored 20, Sue scored 10, Ladonna had 8, Jody Duncan had 6, and the Lake St. Delaware had 8. Now, psychology, again, please come up here. I'll try not to leave anyone off. The 1983 state champion, Lady Mustangs, Janet Payne. Kim left. Jody Levin. Trish Wilson. Raylan Elwood. Ben Thurman. Janice Holland. Sue Thomas. Leanne Lloyd. Suzanne Knight. Dana Watson. You're not doing all right yourself, just know that. And Lamar Wilson. If Coach Davis up here, Buck, can you come back up, please? Representing that. We'll have good sponsorship in the That's the most important part. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1983 McDonald County Ladies State Championship Mustangs. Our next inductee is Coach Jack Shaver. Ken, please.
First ever downtown athletics Hall of Fame. Today, we recognize Coach Jack Shaver, a dedicated leader for downtown men's basketball. He started as head coach from 1971 to 1984, and then again from 87 to 92. Over 23 seasons, Coach Shaver made a tremendous impact on students, school, and community. Coach Shaver led his teams to 6 conference championships, 5 district titles, and even a third-place finish at state. But it's his influence on the countless players and coach that stand out the most. With 350 wins, he retired as the winningest coach in school history. Congratulations, Coach Shaver, on being inducted into the first ever McDonald County Inaugural Hall of Fame.
Coach Jack Shaver had plenty of great teams you can talk about, but I'm going to hit on 3. Coach, the first is the 75 Mustangs, still the only male team to ever be ranked number 1 in the state. That team had Charlie Harvey, Jim Stopper, Kirk Allman, Wayne Fisher, Richard Anderson, and they brought the county together for the first time after consolidation. I can remember coming up here and watching it, and it's just a, just a fantastic time. I did want to mention Coach Rader's asked 3 times why couldn't he turn the heat up in here. If you remember those days out there conditioning and everybody was accused Coach of turning the heat on. The 1981 boys team, they got third in state. That team had Mark Duncan and Lee Smith, Ron Parsons, Bruce Stanton, Mike Jones, a variety of other players on it. And then the 89 teams made it to the quarterfinals. They lost to Marshfield, and Marshfield was state runner-up that year. And that team had Shane Reese and Neil Smith, Derek Pierce, Scott Bice, Mark Lowe. But he had a lot of other great teams too, but that's just 3 to talk about. But let's be serious. When you came to watch a Jack Shaver team, you came to watch him play, but you came to watch Jack on the sidelines about as much as anything. Okay? Coach Shaver was entertaining, his antics. We didn't do this on purpose, but it's just great. Coaches have eating there pretty much a coach's box, which I'm not sure the state of Missouri didn't bring because of you. Where coach had to stay in a certain position. I remember the ball game that the refs aren't calling ROA and stuff. The ball bounces to Jack, and Jack just takes the ball and rolls it all back into the pocket. Nobody else was playing except that position. But Coach Shaver did more than coach basketball and touch lives. Okay? I I never played for Coach Sherry, but I used to like to come in and watch him post the practice schedule. He always had a full. One that always stuck with me was nobody ever drafted sweat. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Fame inductee, Coach Jack Sherry.
Vice President. Well, don't mind to it. I'm not really afraid to talk. I just want to tell everybody that I appreciate getting to be here and coaching the responsibilities that I have. Well, those coaching are important because they go most of it. And I love watching what whatever that makes you do. It's sad, but I just want to enjoy coaching. And once I'm going to play, everybody else will be watching for some other reason. I want to be able to take on Mr. Harden. And I think that's what I would say. Most people have a thing in the next scene. The movie about anything. Everything else. It was about the movie. And I was so very thankful for a bunch of kids that, really decided how much to play. I was the only person I had to show. It's just, can't remember. And that's what I did with a lot of time was after the movie. Thank you.
Our next coach will be inducted in the Hall of Fame is Coach Jerry Davis.
This effort in County leaders of McDonald County Athletics was the first ever McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame. Today we honor Coach Jerry Davis, who led the Indian Stones basketball team from 1979 to 1991. Known for his toughness, Coach Davis was one of the most successful basketball coaches in Missouri during his time. Under his leadership, the Indians team won 11 conference championships, including 10 in a row. They also captured 5 district titles, made 4 Final Four appearances, and brought home 2 state championships in 1981 and 1983. Coach Davis was a 2-time Missouri Coach of the Year and ended his career at McDonald County with 287 wins. Congratulations, Coach Davis, on being part of the first class of the McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame.
You know, I never played for Coach Rager, but I did play for Jerry Davis. Jerry Davis coached me football as a sophomore. And then I don't know how you guys didn't teach you to do that. I mean, when you get in that deal, when Jerry Davis is number one thing, he's a competitor. He's a competitor, and everything that he does, And I'm not going to say what you win, but sure what you do your best. That's what he's striving to, is get the best out of every single person he could. We've said it forever, talk about his team, his records, his championships, but we'll let him talk to him. Coach Davies, please come up here.
I didn't know I was going to be speaking tonight, so you're really in trouble. I was coaching freshman girls here for Jack, and John Willis came in with the gym one day. He was the principal, high school principal there, and he said, Jerry said, you're going to coach girls basketball next year. And I said, oh, John, I said, you don't want me to coach those girls. He said, well, let me put it this way. He said, your position is going to coach girls basketball next year. He made me a deal I could not refuse. Lo and behold, I had the best group of kids for 13 years or 15, I can't remember how many it is exactly. But just year after year after year, we had just tremendous kids that were athletic and could play and compete. But I was surprised that first year. I remember we were seeing late in the opening tournament up at Carl Junction, and I'd asked Benny Kenneth, who had been the coach the year before, I said, Benny, what are we going to do? He said, well, Jerry said, I don't know anybody should be much better than you. So I seen this first, and everybody else seen this late. Anyway, we moved up on the first night, and then the rest of the tournament was easy. We went from senior day to winning the tournament. I thought, well, I'm not like this girls basketball better than I thought. And lo and behold, that group of kids that played throughout those years were just terrific, and terrific parents and terrific backing. I couldn't both myself could have been any day. Some wants me to tell this story about how I got the job at girls basketball, and I told you that Mr. Willis made me that deal that I could not refuse. First year I didn't have any assistant coach. I had the varsity, junior varsity had the whole deal. We had the gym full with all three doors for somebody to do something on. And kids really seemed to enjoy it, just worked their tails off. And anytime they could do that. And then I noticed if I didn't have it till right before the next class, I didn't have to worry about too many boyfriends. I just let them out just in time to get to class, and then they couldn't clean that much, and they wouldn't be as attractive to the boys. But when I think back of all the good things that happened to us here, and even though that's true, Jack helped me every summer with my girls' basketball camps later. These groups have been primarily focusing on, but I just had a lot of people that after the first year or two, I got lucky, and Elaine Schumacher came here as my assistant. And she was a young girl, and hard worker, got along well with the girls. She was just exactly what I needed, and she really helped our program. Later, we moved to Red City on me, and then we had a little problem. John made me that deal, I couldn't refuse, and I ended up spending my first 2 years as a coach. You got to understand, I coached primarily guys. I had coached at Wadlow, Missouri, Sheridan, Missouri, Stockton, Missouri, and 1 year at junior I coached at Butler, Missouri. So that's why I wasn't sure about that transition. But it was a great transition for me, and I couldn't ask for better kids to work with, and just talent, year after year after year. A lot of years, we had kids that didn't even get too much playing time, that in any other year, they would have been starter on most teams. That's something I regretted, but that was the nature of basketball. You know, we tried to win more games. But it's been a great pleasure and very important to me in my personal achievements and coaching, and I will always remember, I don't know how much longer, but I'll always remember my coaching women's basketball at McDonald Academy was just great.
The first of our 5 athletes being inducted tonight is Suzanne Diana Sutton.
We're celebrating the time of year, so the McDonald County Athletics with the first ever McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame. Today, we honor Suzanne Diana Sutton from the class of 1983, one of the most accomplished athletes in school history. Suzanne was a member of the Tails, an outstanding group of regional state basketball players. She was a scoring machine, finishing her career as the all-time leading scorer for the Mustang with an astounding 2,018 points. Her remarkable consistency on the court earned her first-team All-State honors for all 4 years of high school, and unprecedented achievement in Missouri high school basketball. A crucial part of the Lady Mustangs state championship teams in both 1981 and 1983, Suzanne's leadership and dominance helped secure their place as one of the top programs in the state. Her talent was recognized on a national level, and she was named an All-American after her senior season. In 2000, she was crowned the Player of the Decade for the 1980s at the Springfield Girls League. Beyond basketball court, Suzanne excelled in track and field, setting a school record in high jump of 5'7" inches, attained a 100th state championship, and stood as a state record for many years. Congratulations, Suzanne Diana Sutton, for being one of the first ever McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame.
Suzanne could not be here tonight, but the simplest note, Suzanne Sutton is the most decorated high school athlete to ever come through here. 4 times All-State, 3 All-American. I cannot even know that she was 2-time state high jump champion. And held the record, the 3A state record, from 1983 to 2014. So you're a math teacher. How many years is that? Oh, 4 points to flags. It's 31, so just in case you need 31 years. Fantastic athlete. Congratulations to Suzanne. I'd like to ask Mr. John Weather to come up here for our next presenter. He will present our next athlete. The next inductee is Bruce Stanson.
We're celebrating 9 years of McDonald County Athletics with the first ever McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame. Today, we honor Bruce Stanson, who passed in 1983, one of the most intimidating and dominant forces in Mustang football history. Bruce's power of backfield was unmatched with 1,000-yard seasons in both his junior and senior years. His talent on the gridiron paved the way for incredible 2-stroke distance that same year. Bruce's accomplishments were so significant that he was inducted into the Pittsburgh State University Hall of Fame. And his impact is not there. In 2023, Bruce was inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame as one of the 2011 class, further solidifying his place in Missouri sports history. After his playing days, Bruce returned home to McDonald County, serving athletes, students, and remaining for 25 years as a teacher and coach. Congratulations, Bruce Johnson, for being one of the first ever McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame.
I was asked to get up here and make a couple comments about Bruce, so naturally, I went to Bruce and asked him, hey, what would you like me to say? And for those that know him, I'll tell you exactly what he said. He said, shut up. And so, but Bruce and I, we go back a little bit. 5th grade, I was Southwest City, he was at Pineville, and he was a mess there. Trying to guard him, trying to do whatever. He would do whatever he wanted to do. And then in 7th grade, we got to play football. Frankie Woods was my son. And I think Frank is still hurt from Bruce playing those games. I would get maybe 2 steps when I go down. And I'd say, thanks, Bruce. And we get up and do it again. Thanks, Bruce. And but he has always been a step above as an athlete. But the one thing that I like to say about him is he's the best friend you'll ever have. Go through life and you have different things. Get to be best friend. Great opportunity. You get to introduce your kids. We talk about the sports opportunities, but sometimes we forget to mention the quality of the person. Before that, I'd like to introduce Bruce. Thanks a lot of large and familiar faces here. I haven't seen in years. We should make it less next time, okay? Thank you very much. Our next inductee is Sue Thomas Butler.
This celebrating was the first ever McDonald County Athletic Hall of Fame. Today, we remember legends of Lady Mustangs basketball, Sue Thomas Butler, class of 1983. Sue was one of the greatest triplets of McDonald County, running the world of massive defense, her sharp playmaking skills and her ability to score. As one of 4 1,000 scorers in 1918, she finished her career with an incredible 1,601 points, making her the 4th highest scorer in Mustang history. Her clutch free throw in 1981, Why Is the Clock Expired, still stands as one of the most unforgettable moments in our school's history. It was that leadership poised under pressure that helped the Lady Mustangs secure 2 state titles in 1981 and 1983. After her playing days, Sue came back to lead the next generation of Lady Mustangs, serving as head coach for 2000 and 2008. Under her leadership, the team won 2 conference titles and a district title, continuing the winning tradition she helped build. Congratulations, Sue Thomas Butler. being part of the first ever McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame.
Somebody goes 2 free throws, and listen to this, I thought I'd get you to teach one lesson. Well, several years later, we've got a pretty good boys basketball team, and Susie will have a chance to have that team, and we moved to Carl Junction. And probably the second greatest comeback in West End boys basketball, but we're going down to the third quarter. We fight all the way back. There's like 5 seconds left to go, and Tyrell Lett throws the ball to Chance takes 3 dribbles, jumps up, gets a back shot, we win distance on Carl Junction's home court. And we come back to school Monday, and I got no Chance, and I'm saying, man, your mom did that back when I was a kid, stuff like that. They said, Mr. Harrell, people were harder than me, mine was a lot harder. I said, Chase was a pretty big crowd there at Carl Junction, but they had a little bit more at the Zoo back in the day. She also coached for us here, sitting at a district championship team, that team up until last year, when the girls achieved the state ranking, the last team that achieved the state ranking. Sue's team might be part of us, hard to think about it, and beat everybody in the state. But if she come up here, I'm sure she'll talk a little bit, and Sue Thomas loves it.
I'm going to talk. All right, and I brought some notes because my husband accuses me of like going off on bunny trails, so I've got some notes. All right, I was just, can you guys hear me because it's been a little hard to hear sometimes. I said being close to 60, Bruce is way past beyond that. I don't know how we're in the same grade, but everything seems different now. You know, when we were kids, we didn't even know what we were doing. The new green players, we just played because we like to play the game. But now when we're at this age, when you look back, you think, wow, that was pretty amazing, probably some of the things that we did. After having a career as a coach, you know, I went back through these articles and these records, and I really can't imagine how that was possible. I wanted to share a little bit about, sorry, I got the mic. The history of the girls program here. I didn't realize it was such a new program when we came to the high school. The program, so there's no girls sports. When we moved down from Iowa in 1972, my older sister Lori was up here at the high school, and it was the girls sports. It was cheerleading or Scarlet Spurs. And Lynn and Lori had both played in Iowa. And when they came here, we were like, why does anybody play basketball here? And so this is from Lynn. In PE class, the girls were cheering, I think, and the girls that were not cheerleaders started playing basketball. And she said one day they went down, left class, got in trouble, I believe, and went down to the superintendent's office and said, can we get a girls basketball here? And I think they got threatened to be suspended, if that is a true story. That's exactly right, isn't it? But it's just that's right. The superintendent. So basically, it was just a few years after that we got girls basketball. And when Kim says that there's 7 varsity sports going on right now, that's just shocking because, like I said, it doesn't seem like it was that many years ago there wasn't any, girls sports at all. So that's kind of a neat thing. And so they started girls basketball here, I believe, in 1976. Just got a few games because they didn't have a schedule set, I don't think. And then 2 years later is when Coach Davis came on the scene, and the rest is history from there. But when the 3 of us came to the high school, I believe it was only the 4th year that girls basketball had even been played at McDonald County. So to think about it being such a new program is kind of shocking too, to have the success. Agreed? So anyway, sorry, thinking back a little bit, we were at Central City, and we probably had 30 kids in our class, and how the three of us came out of a class of 30 in the state of Missouri is a little bit shocking. Our fifth grade teacher was Mr. Dan Rickett, and some of you may have worked for him. And so we did PE, and he helped us to start playing some basketball. Most of the time we played against the boys, like John and Frankie, and the rest of the group there from Southwest City. Maybe that's how we played again. Maybe we played a few boys all the time. I'm not sure. But then we went to junior high and we played for Mr. Ron Hofer. It was amazing to me to see how many of the players on those pictures there from those teams came from Southwest City. I'm not sure that 83 team didn't have 8 players from Southwest City, which that's kind of crazy because Southwest City wasn't a big place at all. So Coach Cofer was a heck of a coach. And I think he should be possibly thought of for this award at some point because he really doesn't have a dynasty. He played for him and just many people. Mr. Cofer taught us how to play basketball. I want to say though, so at Southwest City, we played in OG, and there was this big hump on that sideline, and of course opposing teams coming in, we didn't let them know that. Because they were driving down that sideline, they hit that big bump and that ball would just take off. So we tried to rush people that way. So we got to play in the old gym, and I felt like that was a good home court advantage there. And remember, Coach, Mr. Cofer, let us score. This is mind-boggling as a coach for me to think. We scored 100 points in a game. And in junior high, that had to be 6-minute quarters, right? And I think we might have been in trouble for that. It wasn't a county team that we were playing, but he let us get to 100 one game, and I'm sure the principal got a whole bunch of calls the next day. And then there was one time when I was going through the articles there, we scored 70 points and a half against 3. How did that poor other team to have 3 points versus 70? We didn't get to play the whole second half on that one, I know. But so Coach Davis knew we had some stuff coming up, but he wasn't for sure. And Teresa reminded me, we came up and practiced with him over a Christmas practice, and we were pretty scared, I think, because there were some big old mean girls that were juniors and seniors, and us punk junior high girls came up to try and mix. So here we go, we came to the high school in 79 and 80, and there was track and basketball then at that time. No volleyball, no softball, none of that. It was track and basketball. We had first RPE, which you guys have spoke about. And I said there was no good hair days. They already said that. We all carpool from Southwest City and all these outlying places because we had to be here before school started. So thanks to our parents for getting us here before school. And then they were already winning when we came in. And then, like Mr. Harold had mentioned, Becky Clark, Connie Sutton, and Teresa Orr, these girls were scary to us young punk girls coming in. And LaDonna said they beat the crap out of her every day in practice, which doesn't surprise me down in the block. I stayed out at the top with Becky. But I think about that, and I think about what a challenge it must have been for Coach Davis to try and put together and get some team of chemistry out of seniors, juniors, sophomores, and then these 3 freshmen coming in to try and get them to play together, accept each other. Of course, there wasn't any doubt in that because he was always in charge. And but what an accomplishment, I think, for Coach Davis to be able to meld that group of different ages. Lastly, in reflection, it's lastly, Bruce. In reflection, we just loved playing basketball. We didn't have any idea what postseason play even was. We didn't know what district was. We didn't know any of that. We just knew if we kept winning, then we got to play another game. And also, our track workouts were not going to start for a while. I mean, because we went right from basketball into track. And so we just thought, okay, we won. That first year when we were freshmen, we were clueless, man. We didn't even know what we were doing. Coach would be like, hey, we're going to play a game. Okay. We just didn't have any idea. It's so different now. So when our senior season was over, we began thinking of future plans, what are we going to do? I don't know that any of us really had aspirations of going to college, but hey, we got to keep playing ball. So, and this goes down for the records, because a lot of people are like, you broke up the triplets. Here's the real story about that. So they called us the triplets. Suzanne was going to get married. She wasn't going to go to college, right, LaDonna? So she got married right after. Me and LaDonna had decided we were going to go play, and we split up. LaDonna went to Missouri Southern, and I went to Inaugural. Well, then, lo and behold, Suzanne decided she was going to play and went to Southern. So it looked like I was the one that broke up the triplets. But that's not true, okay? Suzanne changed her mind, Randy changed it for her. But I just think about, one of my sisters had graduated from college, and they're like, oh, when you go to college, you have to decide what you want to major in. All I thought I was going for was to play basketball. And so I'm like, well, Coach Davis had a pretty good job. I think I'll just go into coaching. And so I decided to do that. So I feel like the experiences here probably changed my life. I was able to graduate from college, being paid for on a scholarship, and go on and have a career in coaching. I just want to say there's been many good athletes, better than us, probably, that have went through this high school, but we were just so fortunate to have as many good players as we had, and support players. I mean, we battled each day, every day in practice, didn't we, girls? And then with the coaching staff that we had, that this happened. You know, our 4 years of school, our grade at least, we were 109 and 8 losses. That's cuckoo bananas. Like as a coach, I can't even imagine that now, you know, as an adult. Like I said, looking back and go, how does that happen? That you only lose 8 games in 4 years. Agreed? Yeah. So it's crazy. Probably may not ever be duplicated again. I don't know. But like I said, I think at the helm of Coach Davis, and just we got lucky. Like my sister said, the stars kind of aligned, that we all came together at that time. So I'd like to thank the group that put this group together and all of you for attending tonight. Thank you much.
I'd like to ask Trish Wilson to come up here to introduce our next inductee.
I'd like to introduce the next inductee, LaDonna Wilson McLean.
This letter was in McDonald County Athletics with the first ever McDonald County Athletic Hall of Fame. Today we honor the member of London State Relative, LaDonna Wilson McLean, of the class of 1983. LaDonna was the second member of the famous Triplets, and she finished her career as the second highest scorer in Midwestern history with 1,687 points. Known for her tough defense and deadly mid-range game, LaDonna was a dominant force on the court. Her leadership and fierce competitiveness helped bring the Lady Mustangs to 2 state titles in 1981 and 1982. A first-team All-State selection, she was one of the most feared players in Missouri high school basketball. After college coaching stops at Austin Peay and UNLV, LaDonna returned to McDonald County as the Lady Mustangs head coach from 2008 to 2014, where she won the district title in 2011, continuing the legacy of excellence. Congratulations, LaDonna Wilson McLean, for being part of the first ever McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame.
Mama Sue did. I am honored to introduce a lady who has many names that she cherishes. Daughter, wife, mom, aunt, coach, my sister, LaDonna Wilson McLean, class of 1983. LaDonna is the third member of the triplets, as you heard about tonight. She ended her career as the second highest scorer in McDonald County Lady Mustang basketball history with 1,687 career points. Her defensive ability and her mid-range game made her a force to be reckoned with. Her leadership and fierce competitiveness were attributes that made her one of the most feared players in the state of Missouri. Her coach, Jerry Davis, called her by another name, CM, which stood for constant motion. And if you ever had to guard her, you understood what that meant. She was and still is relentless in her pursuit of winning and greatness. With 2 state titles in 81 and 83 under her belt and a first-team All-State selection, LaDonna's impact on Lady Mustang basketball will always be remembered. After a few coaching stints, including stops at Austin Peay State University and UNLV, LaDonna came back and served as the head coach for the Lady Mustangs in 2008 to 2013, winning the district title in 2011. Once a Mustang, always a Mustang. In talking and reminiscing with my sister about this special night, as it approached, we talked about just how memorable the times were in this very gym. As a younger sister, I was always watching and learning. I did not always see the Hall of Fame inductee that you see tonight. I saw a friend, a mentor, an encourager, a hero who worked hard and motivated me. Even when I did not want to get up and run, because I felt guilty, I did. And I usually started a lot later than her, and she usually passed me on the way back and would run by the shavers, and they probably heard me mumbling as I ran by or stomped by because I felt guilty and I had to get out there and run because I wanted to be good like she was. She would pass me on the way back and just give me a smile, like, yep, you're out here again. So she motivated me to be a better person. LaDonna, as a player, as a friend, as a sister, as a teacher, coach, as an administrator, and as a human being, blesses all of us as we cross paths with her, and I'm honored to call her my sister and my friend. Congratulations, sis. This is a well-deserved honor. Your family is very proud of you, and we love you. Thank you. It's hard to follow. I too won't be as long as Sue. But I do have some notes, and I just kind of wrote my notes as things I remember. And so I'm just going to kind of go through some of those because these are the things that I thought about as I thought about this night and what I could share. We didn't have AU or weights or any of the things that we do now. We didn't have travel teams. We just played. I think the big event for us was we went to John Brown University basketball camps in the summer, and that was it. And we loved the game. As Sue shared with you, we just loved to play, and I too attribute that to our roots in South City. Dan Rickett, Coach Ron Coker. Coach Coker didn't have units. He had basketball, and heaven help us tumbling. Most miserable weeks of my life. But as soon as that was over, we did basketball. And so he taught us a lot about the game of basketball and really kind of drove us to love it. I can remember going in probably my fourth, fifth grade year, telling my parents I made the team, and they didn't even know I had tried out. They didn't know what I was talking about. So that's kind of where it started. Some of the things I remember, our pregame on our road trips that our driver here, Buck Shumack, took us on, consisted of reading Harlequin romances. And we traded books every week. That was the big event. We passed those babies around. That tells you kind of how naive we were. That's just kind of what we did. We weren't stressed out. We didn't have any big pregame rituals. That's what we did. I can remember walking into practice the first day in this very gym. And yeah, I was scared to death because if you've seen Connie Sutton, Teresa Whirler, and all of those kids, girls, they're intimidating. And she's right, they're scared. I had a front row seat to some of them. So it was scary. I remember walking in here and they knocked me all over the place. I mean, I was under the basket with them, and I took a beating every night. And what they taught me was that I had to fight, and they taught me to do that well. I remember coming on the floor every night to a packed gym, and how much I took that for granted. Because when I got to college, it didn't look like that. It never looked like that again. We had an awesome community. And I told Ken just a little while ago, this is the first time I think I've ever had all of the people in a room that I need to say thank you to. It means a lot to me. So to my parents, I say thank you because they didn't miss a game, not one. In my entire 4 years, they didn't miss a game. To my family, I say thank you because it was a sacrifice. You know, they gave up some things, and even in my coaching career, my own kids and my husband, if you're a coach at all, you know that they give up things. You don't get to spend time. And so, to the community, to the people who shut down town, we shut down. It's like going to the game. It's like right out of Hooters. It was freaking awesome. To the Rat Pack, I remember you and your goofy hats. But all of those things, and mostly to Coach Davis and the Schumann, because you drove what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to emulate the things that you did with me to other students. And it's remarkable the impact you had on me and how you helped drive what I wanted to do. And so I would say thank you to all of those people, and it's probably my teammates, phenomenal teammates. We had fun, we had a good time. I know every one of you remember, those Logan Myers boys and those DeSmith boys. You know, they're at state every year, and I know we know who they are. I got to see some of them recently. They didn't look quite as good, but I don't know, something happened. Our driver, Buck Shumack, was phenomenal. He said a while ago he was our giveaway guy. There are some times where we have to get out of town. People weren't real happy with us. I will forever cherish the picture that I have that you drew. And I know you drew one for Sue and one for Suzanne as well. We cherish those. And your wife, Elaine, she was kind of the mom of the group, but she had an intensity to her, and she wanted to win. And then let's talk about Coach Davis. I can remember a game, I have two events stick out in my mind. One, we were at Joplin Memorial, and I was inbounding the ball underneath the basket, and he told me not to throw long. I threw long. It was over. I got the biggest butt cheering, and I got to sit down for a long time because I threw long. And it didn't miss. It was a good pass, but he told me not to do do it. I didn't do that anymore. I learned really quick. And then the second event that sticks out in my mind, we don't talk a whole lot about the 1980s now. But it's a significant event in my life. If you've ever seen the Olympic agony of defeat, I was the one that fouled. And I'm the one that put Gretchen, I still remember her name, on the free throw line, and we lost by 2. With about, 2 seconds left. I can remember sitting on the top of Hearn's gymnasium, thinking that's never going to happen again. And I didn't still have to stay on things about it. I was clean. But it happened. So those 2 events stick out in my mind. I do remember early morning practices quite clearly. I had to ride to practice with with George Mason, because he was on his way to the bus barn for the first couple of years, or for a while. And I also remember, as we've said, we never had a good hair day. Did you see the hair? We didn't know what to do. I swear, I think that's what it was. That's why we looked like we did. But mostly I remember 2 coaches who taught me to love the game, who were role models, who led me down the path that I chose to take. I remember teammates that were friends and who made the game fun. And I realize now, looking back, how really special this time was and how unique it was. I am thankful and grateful to God for putting me where He did, when He did, at the time He did. And I just want to say thank you to every single one of you who had an impact in that time in our lives, in making that a special time, because it took a whole army. It wasn't just a few people, it took a lot of people and a lot of sacrifice, and it will forever be remembered. So thank you.
All the sports were scored without the benefit of that black line. There were no 3-point shots back then. Everything counted for 2. Our last inductee is Mr. Charles Hart.
We're celebrating the 20 years of McDonald County Athletics with the first ever McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame. Today, we honor Charles Hart from the class of 1975, one of the most prominent players in our state basketball history. Charles was a force to be reckoned with on the court, leading the way in both scoring and rebounding for much of his junior and senior seasons. His impact is felt in everything, helping the 1975 men's basketball team achieve an undefeated regular season, finishing with an incredible 25-1 record. At one point, they were ranked as the #1 team in the state, an accomplishment that will forever be remembered. A first-team All-State selection, Charles remains the school's second all-time leading scorer, a testament to his talent and dedication. His legacy was solidified when his number 50 jersey was retired, forever enshrining him in McDonald County Athletics history. Congratulations, Charles Hart, for being part of the first ever McDonald County Athletics Hall of Fame.
It needs to be noted that Charles accomplished all this in 3 years of varsity basketball, because back then he didn't play varsity as a freshman. And I don't know how many more I can remember because Charles was the rock out here the first time I ever saw him. You guys remember back in the old days where you switch buses, that high school kid would get on the high school bus to go to the high school, and then the junior high and elementary kid would get on the bus and go to the local school. Well, I'm waiting outside the bus And I'm going to be first in line, so I'm first in line, I get on the bus first, I accept my share go out. Okay? So I'm there, and all of a sudden, Charles Harvey goes off the bus, and no, Charlie, he's probably grabbing him to ride the bus. And I swear, you know, it's morning, the sun's just coming up, he walked out the sun. You know, he was just a huge man, he was 16. As we've talked about Charlie and his teammates, and the Inaugural ranking really brought this county together for the first time. And we'd like to commence Charles Harvey, congratulations for being inducted into the McDonald County Hall of Fame. Please wait and see, a lot of time we didn't have on there, I had to say this speech. But I'd like to turn this back over to Bubba.
Do we have the drawing buckets? Or did you get those up there? Or no? Okay. In closing, what a great night. That was outstanding. Glad I gave MC duties to this guy right here. Incredible night. Congratulations to all of our inductees. When we are done, we're going to draw for those items real fast. When we're done on the way out, our display is in the cafeteria right out of front doors. So we're going to pull the sheet down and unveil our display. And I'm just killing time here until we get the tickets. So, yes, also team members, 8183 team members, we'll get a picture of you all with your plaque as well. You'll have a plaque on the wall as well as in the trophy case as well. So, this is for the white football helmet, which the Mustangs currently wear. Get your tickets ready. Good. 545-027. 545-027. You did the roll. White helmet. Feel free to go back. There's a New Mustangs hat, and as well as a, what you call that, decorative piece? Yeah, kept by our ag department. What are you doing these days? 545-317. 545-317. All yours. Good. This was for a red football helmet. Those make great office decorations, by the way. 545-253. 545-253. Red helmet is yours. This was for the black Mustangs in. There, looks great on the wall. 545-224. 545-224. All yours. Whoever knows this one, I'll tell you a story on how I acquired that 1975 football program. That's a game against Seneca. In 1975, I have no idea what the score was, but it's a trained, legit 1975 program. 545-009. 545-009. Last one here, that sign is is made by one of our students in our ag department, cut and assembled. I wrote him in my office. Looks great. 545311. 545311. All yours. All right, like I said on the way out, we'll kind of meet in the corridor by the front doors, and we'll take a look at the display. Again, thank you all for coming. Team members, stick around for a picture as well. Good night.
And with that, we'll go ahead and conclude our broadcast for tonight. Thank you for joining in and watching. The display is out in the cafeteria area, and I cannot get out to see it from where I am at with the camera. So we'll try to get a picture or something to post on the website. But thank you for joining in, and enjoy your evening.